Hello and welcome to 17th August Forex London Session Livestream. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday is usually high volume days, but we will look at analysis first. Alright, starting from GBP JPY, if we look at monthly time frame, the monthly candle is flipping bullish and it has created a rejection wick to previous two monthly candles, and 13 days left in this monthly candle to close. So maybe if we break above previous monthly candle high, we can continue pushing up, but we will look at smaller time frame. In smaller time frame, weekly candle is flipping bullish after creating a rejection wick. 2 days left in this weekly candle to close, and now there is very high probability we can continue pushing up. If we look at daily time frame, the current daily candle is has moved up, broke above previous candles highs, and now there is probability we can move 50 to 60 more pips in upward direction. If we look at 4 hour time frame, this 4 hour time candle will close in 1 hour and 13 minutes, and it is pushing bullish, and there is probability for current 4 hour candle to continue pushing up. If I look at 1 hour candle in GBP JPY, if we look at yesterday, we moved around 200 pips in buys, and now and then we consolidated and broke above this level on bond CPI news. If I look at M30, if we create a lower wick first, start to break above the high, there is probability we can move 20-23 more pips in buy direction. And yeah, if we close back inside the range in 162.600 area, there will be probability that we are moving down. But for now, it seems like we are breaking above this high, and it is a valid buy by placing initial stop of 32 pips and closing 70% position once we break below this low. So we will wait a little bit in here, and even if we break above this high where prices can move, we can look left and we can see there is 40 pips of range. This is the area where prices can move in 163.400 area. So what we will do in here, you know what, I will wait for current M15 candle to close in 7 minutes, and on next M15 candle maybe I will get a clear indication where prices can move. And in gold, if we look at our analysis starting from monthly time frame, I can see that the current monthly candle has created an upper wick and the candle is still bullish for now. If it breaks below its own low, then there will be probability we are moving down to fill this wick in 60, 68 pips, And if I look at weekly time frame, in weekly the candles are moving down, it has no upper wick. There is probability we will break through this zone, this rejection area to left and continue pushing down, but we will just wait in here. Just by looking at daily time frame, the previous daily candle closed a small bearish candle, and if it if it flips bullish and starts to break above high, there will be probability that we are moving up. But if we break below previous daily candle low, we are moving down. And if I look at 4-hour time frame, in 4 hour we created an upper wick first and moved back inside the range. This area 1773 is a very dirty area to the left, because if we look left there are a lot of rejections. If I look at hourly time frame, in hourly time frame we broke above this area, moved back inside the range. In my opinion, we have done a fake out above this area. So if we get some confirmation for sell at 1777 area, we can continue pushing down in this 55 pips of range. All right, GBP JPY. I will execute this buy by placing a stop loss of 13 pips in an anticipation that we will respect this low and continue pushing up. And I also don't want prices to activate my buy stop in the last 1 minute of this M15 candle close. I will wait for current M15 candle to close and may execute a position on next 15-minute candles. Let's execute this trade on demo account. Place a stop loss of 16 pips in an anticipation that we are moving up to fill this range of almost 40 pips, and we will wait on our real account. Alright, M15 candle has now closed. We will wait for little bit more. Hourly candle in gold is also closing. If I look at daily time frame, there is probability we will break through 70-71 area to the downside. We also have done a fake out above this area, but the whole issue is we can't execute right now as we are resting at very strong area. We need to wait for setup to settle up. The whole issue is that we created a rejection wick on previous hourly candle. We have filled that wick in current H1 candle, and maybe maybe there is a probability we can create a fake out in here and continue pushing down later on. This is 35 pips of H1 candle and it has moved bullish in first 3 M15 candle. What is the probability that current 15-minute candle will also move bullish? So what we will do, we will just wait. Let's wait for these candles to close in around 9 minutes. Although this was our valid buy entry, but we will not execute on this because of the fact that we have already moved up a lot in second and third M15 candle of this hourly candle. This hourly candle has already filled this wick, and we don't know for now how this hourly candle will close. So we will just wait for 8 more minutes. The whole issue is the volume. I can see there is little to no volume, although it seems like a breakout. We have already filled the wick of previous hourly candle and moved only around 5 pips up. The hourly candle is about to close in 7 minutes, so I am waiting for current hourly candle to close. And on next hourly candle, maybe I get a chance to execute. We look left, we are in this area which is a dirty consolidation, and we will just wait for current 15-minute candle to close in around 5 minutes. And in gold we will execute a position once this hourly candle closes, and on next hourly candle we create an upper wick first, create a high for next hourly candle, and then continue pushing down. I will execute, take my chance in sell position. And in GBP JPY I will just wait. So the whole idea is it was our continuation pattern, these three candles on M30. Once the current M30 candle, it was our anticipation that the current M30 candle will break above the low, above the highs, and continue pushing straight up. But since that is not happening, even if we are in this position, we need to close right now. The reason being, if we are to move up, there is no point of just start to consolidate above these highs. We need to lower our risk so that our winners can look bigger. We have reached a problematic area 1773 area. Yesterday we did a whole lot of range in this area. Today there is an anticipation that we will break through this area once we create a some sort of support in here like bullish candle, and next candle breaks below the low like this, then we will execute a sell position, but not now. Like I executed this trade on demo account. It is in like 3 pips drawdown. Since we are not closing the way I like to see, so just cut the trade so that we can give our trade a chance when our excellent setup appears. By looking at previous 2 hourly candles, these candles have moved around 88 pips, and I can anticipate that we are pushing down, and we may not get a buy M15 candle that I was anticipating. And in GBP JPY, this candle although has closed bullish, but I would have closed everything, because if we are to move up, I was anticipating the previous M30 candle to continue pushing up, but since that didn't happen, so cut everything. In gold, we are looking for sells, but we are also waiting for better execution. And in GBP JPY, we are waiting for M15 candle and M30 candle to close. And on next M30 candle, maybe we get a chance to execute sell position to fill this range of 31 pips. We are dropping in gold, but no need to panic. Let it drop. No need to FOMO into this trade. Just wait for prices to retrace, give us a better execution, and then we will execute. If we break below 1771 and if we look left, there is probability we will drop till 1769, almost 25 pips of range. And below that area we have another 40 pips of range till 1765. If we look at candles, the previous two hourly candles dropped around 82 pips, and the current hourly candle is also dropping without an upper wick in first 5 minutes, which may means, in my opinion, there is a chance we will get a retracement and then continue pushing down later on. So you see, in GBP JPY we saved ourselves from lot of trouble just by waiting, else we would have lost around 5 US dollars on this trade, around 0.5% on my account. In GBP JPY, we have broken below the low of previous 30-minute candle, and I do want to execute a sell position, but I am waiting for current 15-minute candle to close. I will from now on execute on only high quality setups, on setups that have already that are ready to move in my direction. Now we will just wait for at least these M15 candles to close in around 6 minutes. We are waiting for better execution in gold. Our anticipation is sells in gold, and in GBP JPY we are also waiting. Alright, in GBP JPY, the previous M15 candle closed bearish, but M30 candle is still open. We want to see how current M30 candle closes. Other than that, I am I will place my sell stop below these lows, because if we are to move down, then on current M15 candle we should break below this low and continue pushing down in the 17-18 pips of range. And if I look at gold, in gold 1771 is a support level, which is a big support level, and I am anticipating that we can break through this support level, but I also want a better execution, so I will just wait in gold. In the meantime, we will look at GBP JPY. Our sell stop should be active in on current 15-minute candle, else we will just remove this sell stop. And in the gold, we are waiting for better execution. I look at the current hourly candle, don't have an upper wick, and there is probability that whenever this happens, we usually creates an upper wick. Also, if we look at M15 candle, we are dropping from previous 8 M15 candles. So normally that don't happen, although it happened on Monday. Yeah, where we dropped around lot on M15 candles, but it is an exception. It isn't going to happen all day and every day. It will occur once in a blue moon. If we break through previous M15 candle low, we can continue pushing down. I will place a stop loss of 13 pips and anticipate prices will drop till 17 pips first TP, and almost 60 pips second take profit. But we also want prices to activate our sell stop on current M15 candle. If that doesn't happen, we will wait for next M30 candle to create an upper wick first, and then we will replay we will again place our sell stops. Alright, M15 candle is flipping bullish. Now what we will do, we will just remove this sell stop and wait for current M30 candle to close. And yes, we will now wait. And if I look at gold, the current M30 candle is now creating an upper wick on current H1 candle. It may be a rejection, or we may do wick fill later on, but now we don't know what's going to happen, so waiting is in our best interest for now. Yeah, you see the current M30 candle is also flipping bullish, and we will wait for this M30 candle to close. It will be in our best interest. If I look at it in H1 time frame, I can see that we have created a lower wick in first 25 minutes of this hourly candle. So maybe on next half of this hourly candle we are pushing up to fill this range, but for now we don't know, so we need to wait for at least this M15 candle to close. The hourly candle in gold now has an upper wick, and this thing is a little bit concerning because it may be a rejection. were anticipating this M30 candle on previous right in here. So although I was anticipating buys, but the buys appeared a little bit tricky today. And what I am listening from lot of traders, they are also saying that August is a tough month to trade. The reason being we broke below previous M30 candle low and then we flipped bullish and continue pushing up. And in the last 5 minutes of this M15 candle, so it was very difficult to grab this trade. But we are looking at them, we are collecting data, and I hope so in future we can execute on them, but for now we will just wait. We saved ourselves from lot of trouble. We were anticipating buys above this wick, above these M30 wicks by placing a stop loss of around 9 pips. It went in like 4-5 pips profit, and on next M30 candle we will be stopped out. And if I look at M15, I was anticipating that if we break below previous M15 candle low, we are moving down. We also we uh, although broke below the low, but that break wasn't actual, I will say. So and we will have two stop losses in a row if we executed on these positions. So waiting makes much more sense. And if I look at hourly time frame, we have created this lower wick and we have already moved like 35 pips on this hourly candle, and previous M15 candle, this is 35 pips. I mean to say that in an hour, normally, as far as I have seen in August, if there are 4 M15 candles in 1 hour candle, normally we do move on in only one M15 candle and the rest only consolidates. So we have the mover candle right in here, and maybe we will consolidate on next two M15 candles, or so I will just wait in GBP JPY, although my analysis was buys, but we have went in buys with dirty move, like we moved up around 24 pips and then moved down around 27 pips and moved up 28 pips. So it wasn't a clean range. It was difficult to grab these type of entries, so we will just wait. And if I look at gold, the candle has flipped bullish all the way, and this move up was in first 2 minutes of this M30 candle. So I guess this thing is a rejection, but for buys we need to break above this area at 1777. We are not looking for buys in this consolidation zone, which is around 35 pips. And if we get some sort of resistance formation in here, we will execute sell in an anticipation that we will fill this range around 33 pips. But we are also looking to see how hourly candle closes. If it closes bullish, maybe we will execute buys on next hourly candle in an anticipation that we will continue pushing up to retest these highs. So for now, just waiting makes much more sense. Yeah, 15-minute candle broke above previous candle high. It was buys, but if we look at our stop loss will be 26 pips and take profit will be 32 pips. But we want candles that went in straight profits. So if we look at M30, the reason I didn't execute it on this is because we have already moved up a lot, and second reason was we are moving with very dirty. It is a dirty move, it is not a trending move. We are consolidating and moving up, so it is difficult to grab these sort of executions, and we are waiting for some better entries. Now we need to wait for candles to close for more information. Alright, GBP JPY is sort of consolidating and moving up. So the idea that one mover candle in H1 candle has already passed out, and maybe we will consolidate or we can continue pushing up in this 25 pip of range, but I will wait in GBP JPY now. Now I will only focus in the gold. I want to see how this hourly candle closes and how this H4 candle will close. This is 25 pips of move, and yeah, you see the fact that we were discussing 1771 is not an easy area for prices to break. I want better execution for sells. I waited and we got rewarded with no stop loss for today. And now we are waiting. If we break above 1777 area, there will be probability that we are pushing up. On next M15 minute candle, I am executing buys. Come on. I want this M15 candle to close, and on next M15 candle we are executing buys. Get ready. Of course there will be some conditions. I will not execute buys right away. I will tell you what the conditions are. Alright, waiting for this M15 candle to close, and on next M15 candle we will execute buys in gold based on the fact that we have this much volume and there is probability we can continue pushing up. In the meantime, we will also manage our risk if things go against us. So once we break above previous candle high, I will execute buy. And although my analysis was sells in gold, but the idea that we have rejected from strong H4 support, and just by looking at volume there is probability that we can continue pushing up, so that's why I am executing buys. But this buy should be activated on current M15 candle. If that doesn't happen, we will remove our buy stop. To break above this high to potentially continue pushing up. Other than that, we will just remove buy stop and we will then wait. Stop loss will be below this wick around 10-11 pips. Yeah, GBP JPY is pushing up. It is 22 pips of move and 35 pips of move, but from our previous analysis, but it was very difficult to hold on to this trade. So yeah, it was pretty good decision to avoid this trade, and maybe later on we can get some good execution in GBP JPY, so no need to panic about that. We are now waiting for current 15-minute candle to close, because if we look at M5 time frame, we have broken below previous M5 candle low, which means the uptrend is broken, and there is probability that we will retest this low 35 pips away. And if I look at it, it is 13 pips of stop, and you know what, I will place my sell stop below this M5 candle in an anticipation that if we broke below these lows, we are moving down. And yeah, we will wait. But the break should be on current M5 candle. If that doesn't happen, you know what, we will just remove the sell stop, and then we will wait for, and then we will wait for some more confirmations. So initially I placed a buy stop. It was my anticipation that if I look at these two candles, there is high probability for prices to continue pushing up, but that didn't happen. We broke below M5 candle low, which means the uptrend that we were having from previous 7 M5 candles has now invalidated, and initially my bias was sells, so I have executed this trade in line with my bias, placing a stop loss of 14 pips, secure something at around 10-11 pips. And if we broke above current M5 candle high at any point, just remove this trade and come back later. This is my stop around 4 pips on this trade. I will remove everything once we break above current M5 candle high. Other than that, we are good for sells. So we are testing our entry point, and I am ready to close position once we break above current M5 candle high. Lowered my stop loss to candle high around $2 risk, and we will wait. Alright, M5 candle has closed. It has closed bearish, and there is possibility that on current M5 candle we can drop. And if we look at M15, M15 is bearish. M30 candle is creating an a wick. And if I look at hourly candle has also created a wick. So what we are actually looking at, yeah, there is 10-12 pips of range left to be filled, but we will see if we will fill this range on current M15 candle. If not, I'm ready to close everything once we hit our entry point. Alright, I have closed everything, made nothing, lost nothing on this trade. It was a break-even trade, I will say. And the whole idea is it gave me a chance to execute a position later on because I haven't lost anything on this trade. The whole issue was volume actually died down. And if I look at this market structure now, and I was anticipating previous M5 candle to be a big body candle like this candle around 15, 10, 11 pips, but that didn't happen. So it was in our best interest to just exit this trade and wait for other confirmations. Now hourly 4-hour candles are about to close in around 3 minutes. Now we will wait. M15 candle is closing a strong bearish candle. So the yeah, now it's moving down. But I am okay with my early close of this entry because it was executed on M5 time frame. What's M5 time frame in gold? With the 5 pips of stop. What's 5 pip in gold? We can get stopped out in a matter of seconds. So for me, preserving my account is my first preference. And it also seems like volume is little bit dying. That's why I closed this trade. Else I would have held this trade to potentially fill this 12 pips of range. I secured around 2-3 pips on this trade, but the spread on gold is 1 pip including 1 pip commission, so lost almost that much amount in spread and commissions. And yes, in GBP JPY we were anticipating buys right in here. It went in 24 pips of profit. Our stop loss will be around 15-16 pips. But the whole idea was I avoided this trade. The reason being we are although moving up, but it is not a trending move up. We want candles to move to shoot right in our direction. That's where we will make money. Else we will get stopped out like we have got stopped out in gold. The whole reason I executed this trade because I can look that my initial bias is sells. We moved up on these two M15 candles, and this M15 candle retraced way back inside the zone. It broke below previous M5 candle low, so I may at that point I decided that we are going down. But this but once I executed sells, we started consolidating. Volume just disappeared. and I was anticipating that we may get a candle like this, 10 pips straight in one candle, but that didn't happen, so we are not concerned about that. And now we will look at 4 hour candles and 1 hour candles as those candles have been closed. So if I look at GBP JPY, we are moving up from previous 7 H4 candles, and if I look left, we are approaching a very problematic area. This is very problematic area. We can reject anywhere from here, and there is low probability of breaking outside of this range, the reason being low volume. You see, we have 1, 2 and 3 hourly candles almost in 15 pips of range. So I am not anticipating that we will break through these zones, the reason being low volume. If there was volume, it was easy to break through this zone. And if I look at 1 hour time frame, we have previous 4 H4 candles, 5 H4 candles closing, H1 candles closing bullish, and this candle has opened right now. And if I look at 1 hour candles on current H1 candle, if we respect the previous H1 candle low around 20 pips away, we are moving up at least 163 till 163.500 area, 36 pips away. But we need to respect previous H1 candle low, but I will take it as a consolidation personally, and I will wait. If I look at gold, the 4 hour candle in gold has done a fake out above 1778 area. If I look to previous candles, we have bearish trend in gold, and there is probability we will break through 1772 area till 1769, or we may even continue dropping till 1765 area. If I look at 1 hour time frame, yeah, there is a probability that we are moving down at least 22 pips away, but we want good amount of confirmations in M30 and M15 time frame. But looking at price action, I will take this as a consolidation because of the fact that we have big body M15 candle which is 22 pips, and we are also approaching a potential zone at 1773 area. So I will just wait in gold, and in GBP JPY I can anticipate and I can see there is little to no volume. Alright, that sell trade idea that I was anticipating played out perfectly, but I closed my positions. The reason being small M5 candles. That was my reason to close that trade early, else I could have secured like 15-16 pips on this trade, but I guess this is the way things are. Now we will just wait. The whole idea is current. If I am looking for sales in GBP JPY, I was waiting for upper wick formation on current 30-minute candle so that I can execute sells for potential take profit of 35 pips. But since we didn't get that upper wick, so I will not execute anything in GBP JPY at least for now. And in gold, if I look at M30, we have broken below previous M30 candle low, and there is very high probability, let's be honest, that we are moving down in gold. But we will just relax, we will sit patiently and just watch markets. The reason being, I also want to execute these shorts, and if I look at this price action, it didn't give me any chance to execute. First, this was big body M15 candle, stops will be around 23-25 pips, but that's okay. And on next 15-minute candle, we didn't created an upper wick. If that wick was formed, I would have executed sells once we start breaking below previous M15 candle low. But both of those conditions that doesn't met, so I didn't execute these sells. But just by looking at higher time frame, I can assume that we are moving down, and a lot of times prices will just move in your way, but you will not be able to execute on those trades because of price action, and that's totally fine and totally normal with Forex. So we will just wait for at least 15 more minutes. If I look at hourly time frame in gold, I can see that previous hourly candle has a wick left to be filled, and also it got rejected from 1772 area. So maybe the current H1 candle is creating a lower wick first to potentially keep pushing up to fill this wick first, and then fill 1777 area. That could also happen, so we are open for both the bias. We will look to see if we can find some good confirmation in M15 time frame for buys once we break above this high by placing a stop loss of 17-18 pips in an anticipation that we will do a wick fill on hourly time frame. And if the volume is with us, we can even continue pushing up to fill 1781 range. But it all depends. We need to wait for that. And if I look at GBP JPY, there is no indication so far. So what we will do, we will just wait. Also notice the fact that we are at 1200 hours and London session opened 2 hours and 15 minutes ago, and now New York session pre-New York will be in 1 hour and 45 minutes from now, and New York Open will be in 3 hours from now. So maybe we start to consolidate before we get big moves on New York session. So that can also happen because we are approaching to those times where we usually consolidates. But we will see what happens. We are open to anything that market may present us. Alright, M15 candle has closed. If we look at previous M15 candle, it don't have an upper wick, and it just got rejected. It didn't break through this zone, and in my opinion we have created a lower wick for prices to continue pushing up later on in hourly time frame. And if I look at M30, M30 is about to close in 15 minutes. We are waiting for close. So I will look at current M15 candle, how that closes. If on next 15-minute candle we create a lower wick first and starts to break above the wick, above the high that we created on first M15 candle of current hour, then maybe I will execute buys in an anticipation that we will retest this area 1776. If the volume is with us, we can even continue pushing up till 1781 area. But for that, we need to wait for 15 more minutes. We are just waiting for 15-minute candle close in gold. If I look at gold, it seems like volume is dying down before New York session open. So that is a concern. On next M15 candle, if we break above this high at 1775 area, I will execute buys, places stop loss of 16 pips in an anticipation that we are continue pushing up. So that's my whole idea for buys. August is a very low volume month as far as I have heard from most of traders, but in September, October we will have volume and we will make a percentage gain, I guess. So until then, we need to wait, we need to secure our account so that we are not pushed outside of this Forex game. We will look at GBP JPY. If we break below previous hourly candle low, we were unable to break below previous H1 candles low from previous 5 bars. Let's see if now we will break below this low. If I look at gold, I am anticipating buys above 1775 area on next M15 candle. M15 candle will close in 5 minutes, so we need to wait. Far we have respected this hourly candle low in GBP JPY, and in the gold we are waiting for 4 more minutes, waiting for current M15 candle to close. The M30 close will be important. We are looking to see if we will respect previous M30 candle low. We need to respect that low for our buys to be valid. Alright, M30 candle has closed. It hasn't closed the way I wanted it to close, and M30 candle in GBP JPY has also closed. It has closed a bearish candle, but we still respected previous hourly candle low, so maybe it is a low formation for prices to continue pushing up later on in this hourly candle. So at this point there is nothing, no buys and no sells in GBP JPY. And if I look at gold, there is nothing, again no buys, no sells in gold. So at this point I will just call it a London session. We will come back later in New York session and look to see if we can find some good trades. Other than that, we are okay with that. So take care, have fun. I will see you in New York session.